Running a business means checking a lot of boxes.
Let's see. Payroll? Check. Inventory? Check. Insurance?
Good thing Simply Business makes getting small business insurance fast and easy. Check insurance off your list at simplybusiness.com.
On average, 6,324 people in the world die every hour. That's 151,776 every day, about 55.4 million a year. That's more than the population of Australia falling off the planet every 6 months. For most of those deaths in the Western world, there will be a phone call. Someone with a gurney will collect the body and transport it to the mortuary. If there's no family, another person will be paid to clear the apartment of everything that once made up a lonely life. The shoes, the subscription magazines on the doormat, the piles of books that never got read after all, the food in the fridge that outlasted its owner, the things to be taken to auction, the things to be driven to the dump. At the funeral home, an embalmer might try to make the body look less dead, more sleeping. They deal with the things we cannot bear to look at, or so we assume. Our sky falling is their routine.
That's Hayley Campbell, reading from her book, All the Living and the Dead. As a journalist, Campbell has always been fascinated by the odd jobs people hold, the tasks that must be done, but the public knows little about. One prime example is the many positions within the death industry. Despite more coverage on the topic in recent years, Campbell argues that many Americans still tend to shy away from the process.
Once somebody's ill in hospital, I have friends who have been given the choice of coming to see that person who's unconscious and dying and, do you want to come see them? And they say, oh, no, I don't want to. So even the actual dying bit is veiled. And as soon as a person becomes not a living person, but a dead person, they are given over to somebody else. You sign forms and deal with the admin of doing the funeral while all the actual practical things of death are taken care of by other people.
In the U.S., there's still very much a tendency to shy away from seeing a dead body. In fact, it's common for people to go decades without having this experience for the first time. Looking back, Campbell credits an early mentor for allowing her to be present.
My first dead body that I saw was a stranger to me. I helped dress him at the funeral home. And I genuinely think that the funeral director who allowed me to join in with that gave me this special gift of being able to practice, to help process this thing in my head before I actually have to do it in real life with somebody I love. I think that's huge. And no way does everybody get that chance. And it's not even a thing that people are aware that it's something they should think about.
You might be wondering, why is it so important to be there?
It's not just seeing is believing. It's that, but it's also the final thing you can do for them. It's like when you're dropping a kid off at the school gates, you make sure their shoes are done up before they run away. You're making sure they're okay before they're taken away from you forever. And I find it incredibly profound, incredibly touching. And we are missing out by not being there. And we're not even told you're allowed to be there. You are. But I think funeral directors deal with grieving people all the time, and grieving people are extra touchy. And I think sometimes even suggesting, do you want to be a part of this, is a touchy subject because you're talking about the dead body again. And I think people should know that you can ask and you can be there, and probably they will help you do it.
Another offering that's part of this process is called green burials. It's a small but growing alternative that's more environmentally friendly. According to studies cited on the Green Burial Council website, conventional burials in the U.S. use approximately 4.3 million gallons of embalming fluid every year. This solution, which preserves the corpse, contains highly toxic chemicals like formaldehyde, methanol, and benzene. Add on top of this the fact that many caskets use an excessive amount of wood or other materials like copper, bronze, steel, and concrete. Each year, more than 4 million acres of forest are funneled into building wood caskets, according to the Berkeley Planning Journal. Well, what about opting for cremation instead? Experts say this process is better than a coffin burial, but still releases mercury into the atmosphere. It also creates byproducts like nitrogen oxide, dioxins, and particulates that produce acid rain. As a result, many environmentally conscious Americans are choosing natural or green burials for themselves, loved ones, and family pets. In a green burial, the body is not embalmed. There isn't a coffin, but rather a biodegradable shroud or large cardboard box.
Anything that goes into the earth is biodegradable. So when you think of when you imagine a casket, like a sort of what you would see at a funeral home, that's not what we use, like no metal or at least minimal use of metal. And there's no burial vaults or burial liners. So the vast majority of cemeteries, they require that it's either made out of concrete or steel that goes into the ground before the casket is placed in the ground.
That's Cassie Barrett, Director of Cemetery Operations at Carolina Memorial Sanctuary, a green cemetery located in Mills River, North Carolina. Barrett notes that green burials are different in two distinct ways. One is that it's more mindful of what materials and chemicals are being placed inside the earth. Secondly, it's more active in including loved ones in the burial process.
It might be things like the family helping to dig the grave. That doesn't happen very, very often, but we absolutely encourage it if the family wants it. What happens more often is they're actually physically helping to lower their loved one's body into the grave and actually fully closing the grave, which is one of the most dramatic differences and actually one of the most powerful parts of the ceremony, of the experience, is helping to fully close the grave together.
According to the Green Burial Council, public interest in green cemeteries has risen by 65% in recent years. In 2015, there were a total of 114 green cemeteries in the U.S. and Canada. As of February 2023, that number has increased to 371, with more opening in the U.S. every year. Campbell notes that there are different classifications for companies who are listed as green cemeteries.
The first is what's known as a hybrid cemetery. This is a conventional cemetery that has a section set aside for a green burial. And that's what we have the most of in the United States, because it's very easy to take an existing cemetery and say, okay, over in this area right here, we're only going to do green burials. So we're not going to use burial vaults or liners, and the family can have a more natural burial. Then there's what's known as a certified natural burial ground. That's a cemetery that does 100% natural burial. So kind of going back to the way that I defined it before. The third and the strictest level of certification is what's known as a conservation burial ground. And that is a green cemetery that, in addition to doing 100% natural burial, a lot of its resources go towards the care and the protection of the land.
Barrett says these varying differences from company to company are important for consumers to know. While talking about death may still be a taboo topic, it's a process that eventually everyone goes through. It's important to know what options are out there. If anything, you'll leave with an added perspective. You can find out more about green burials and cemeteries by visiting greenburialcouncil.org or by visiting our website at viewpointsradio.org. You'll also learn more about our guests, Hayley Campbell and Cassie Barrett, as well as all of our past guests. Hayley Campbell's book, All the Living and the Dead, is available now online and in select bookstores. For more behind the scenes, search Viewpoints Radio on Twitter and Facebook. This segment was written and produced by Polly Hansen. Our executive producer is Amira Zaveri. Our studio engineer is Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson.
You compare prices when shopping for flights, hotels, cars, so why not small business insurance? At Simply Business, we'll show you policies that fit your business and a range of prices to help you save. Who knew buying insurance could be so simple? Visit simplybusiness.com for your free quote today.